The Summer Davos in China's Dalian as war risks is rewriting the growth story. Over 1,700 leaders from 90-plus nations are in Dalian this week for the World Economic Forum's Summer Davos. But the mood is much, much grimmer than the glossy branding suggests. The headline number tells the story. The IMF's reference forecast puts 2026 growth forecast at around 3.1%, down sharply from the 3.4% trajectory that was projected in the month of February. The reason isn't just the trade war anymore, but actual wars. The closing of the Strait of Hormuz and the serious damage to critical energy infrastructure in West Asia has raised the prospect of major energy crisis. And that's the IMF's own language that was used in April, and the disruption has now run nearly 4 months. The markets have signaled it back then. Crude prices have dropped sharply to below $80 per barrel. Brent had averaged at under $68 a barrel last year, and crude prices had averaged above $105 during the war. Following months, and the producers have cut output by nearly 11 million barrels a day compared to the pre-conflict levels. Diesels, jet fuel, fertilizer, even helium prices have all elevated. A stagflation cocktail that few central banks had prepared for. Now, this, of course, is the backdrop the Dalian cannot talk around. China is using the stage to push its newly launched 15th five-year plan, leaning into new quality productive forces, semiconductors, clean energy and biotech as Beijing's answer to a fragmenting trade order. And around 11% of the world trade has already been hit by tariff action since 2025. And the WTO sees goods trade growth nearly halving this year. And the forum's own framing 5 questions on trade, China's trajectory, AI adoption, jobs and energy reads less like the blue sky futurism and more like crisis management with an innovation veneer. With nearly 40% of the global jobs exposed to AI disruptions and energy security now a live war risk, Summer Davos 2026 isn't really about scaling innovation. It's about whether economies can absorb shocks faster than they are arriving. And WION's correspondent Dharmjot Kaur has sent us this report from Dalian in China. Listen in.
There are 1,500 plus entrepreneurs, private sector players, heads of state and other important officials talking about various aspects here at the annual meeting of the new champions, which is also known as the Summer Davos. Now, the 3-day event is unfolding in China's port city of Dalian, and it has 5 main themes, but 2 in particular are under main focus. One is trade and the other is energy. Both of these sectors, especially the latter, have been influenced a lot and impacted massively by the West Asia war and the delicate negotiations going on between Iran and the US. Now, the energy sector across the world and those impacted by it have been talking about the alternatives that are available or the new course of action that various stakeholders will have to undertake, especially after months of uncertainty and hostility in West Asia's Strait of Hormuz, a key maritime passage, the blockade of which has impacted billions of lives all over the world. And it has opened up a whole new conversation among several key players present here in Dalian who are now discussing and talking about what are the other avenues that are available, what kind of landscape shift does trade and energy security now see for the entire world, especially for a lot of growing economies and developing economies like China and India, both who are big players in South Asia. Now, this entire conversation, of course, will continue to unfold over the next 2 days. But the war and the negotiations being carried out thousands of miles away still have an impact on this critical summit. With video journalist Joy, this is Dharmjot Kaur from Dalian for WION World is One.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.